We know you guys have been waiting for this moment, and we are here to tell you that we finally broke ground on our house.
Finally.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I've been feeling so small.
Hey there, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to Mi Casa. You all know my husband, Nelson, the Latino engineer, is here with me today because we're going to talk about the groundbreaking, because it's been forever in the making. Now, before we start, we want to let you guys know that this is going to be episode 1 of our farmhouse build series. So every time there's a new video that we're going to be coming out with, a new update, a new milestone, if you will, on the build of our house, we're going to just be adding on episodes to this. So today's episode is going to be episode 1, Breaking Ground. So the one question we keep getting asked over and over again is, why have we taken so long to start? So we are here going to answer that question right away. And I believe you guys know one of the reasons, and that is our sweet little baby girl who was born back in October. It was definitely a surprise. The minute we moved it up here, it was just a matter of weeks before we found out that we were pregnant. And that kind of just threw us for a little loop, and we had to do things a little bit differently. But more so was the fact that we were in a new state. We didn't know anyone. We didn't know any companies. We didn't know where to start as far as our build. This is something that we have, wanted to do, but this is our first time doing it. And Nelson actually is going to be the GC for this entire project. And Nelson, while he knows so many things about so many things, this is his first time doing it, right, babe?
Yeah, so I have a construction background. I was an electrician, and I'm in the field now in sales. So, I mean, I understand how the whole process works, worked with GCs, and being in a new state, there wasn't any connections that I had in our previous state. So it was like from the ground up. I mean, we did research on contractors, general contractors. We live in the middle of nowhere, so that kind of poses its own challenges because, like, if you live closer to like a bigger city, you can find contractors everywhere. They're a dime a dozen in the big cities, but when you get out into very rural areas, it's a lot of
sorry, that's
word
too
of
far
mouth.
for us.
Right.
We've came across that.
It's a lot of word of mouth. People don't advertise. It's local small contractors, and again, we love local small contractors, but the challenge that comes with a local small contractor is
how reliable.
Right, the funding. They want to get paid up front, or do they have the ability to do the work and get paid after the work is done? There's a lot of challenges that come along with that, and that was our journey. To find the right contractors. Where am I supposed to look at? Right here
or here?
Or here. Right. So to find the right contractors, that takes a while because you got to ask everybody. You have to interview everybody. The GC
and in a small town, people have opinions.
Oh yeah, that makes it tough because like you talk to one person,
they're like, no, don't use that person.
Right, and then you talk to the next person. Oh, they were great here, but everybody has their own experience with contractors, so they may do good because people, ultimately they're people. So like they may have a bad job they've had; it just happened to be a bad job, or are they truly all their work is bad?
So there was a lot of research that we had to do. Obviously, this is going to be our forever home, and we want whoever comes and does work for us to do their best because this is our home, and we want it to be done well. So that was a huge learning curve for us. We have made friends here since the year we've been here. We've made some good friends, and with that, we've been able to ask for suggestions. We've gotten a lot of great recommendations. We've learned a lot. We've met a lot of people through the people that we know, and like you said, it's all like kind of word of mouth through here. And so it's not like you can just go online, find a contractor, have them come out, give you a bid. A whole different world, which it has, like you said, his benefits in some ways. So Nelson, being that it's his first time doing all of this, not to mention the fact that he works full time from home. So during the day, he doesn't have time to go on and, do all this stuff and just be available for whenever, somebody comes available to come and check out and look at the plans or the lot and stuff. So that was pretty time consuming. And you're probably asking yourself right now, well, why is Nelson taking this on and not hiring a general contractor? And I think he can answer that.
A lot of it has to do with the funding and the amount it takes. Because when something's built that you have a general contractor, they take a fee associated with handling all the subcontractors. And, the house that we're building is going to be a showpiece for Yami's channel or for our channel. And
it's our dream home.
Right, but we want to showcase everything.
We've worked so hard to get to where we are. So I don't want anybody. Yeah. I don't. You know what I mean? It's.
And part of it has to do, I think, with my personality. So, like, a lot of people that are contractors, especially around here, and not to knock anybody, but they prefer to work with people that don't know what they're doing. And when you start really doing the research and asking them a ton of questions, that kind of starts weeding contractors because they're like, wow, that person's going to be a pain to work with. I don't want them. No, hold on. Okay. And they're going to be like, I don't want that person to like bug me the whole build the whole time. Or, man, maybe I can't cut corners here or there to try to, do what we normally do because they're going to be constantly on me. So they're like, well, I'm just going to move on to the more profitable job because this individual is going to be constantly on me. I don't have the time to work with them. And that is just
that's your personality.
Right. It's because we want to know every aspect of it. And since I've been in construction for, over 20 years, I understand how the whole process works. So like, it's not as easy to pull the wool over my eyes. So like a lot of contractors here, they'll just be like, you know what? I'm busy. Busy is code for I don't want to work with you.
Yep. We came across a couple of those, I don't know.
What were you going to say?
The cut corners part. The cut corner. You took that out of my mouth because we have seen some work from some reputable contractors in the area. And we're like, take a look at this a little bit closer. What do you see here? We really had to go in there and be a little bit critical because we don't want anybody to cut corners as far as our house is concerned. And like you said, Nelson's personality is he is going to be on top of these people. He's going to be asking questions. He's going to be out there walking, as they're making stuff happen. And he's going to keep an eye out for everything. So yes, sometimes people don't want to work with people like that because, like you said, this guy's going to be on my butt this entire time. And I don't want anybody asking me questions.
Right. And that's a natural thing that people do. They're like, don't ask me questions. I know what I'm doing. Like, I understand that. But like, this is also my home. You're not building 300 homes in a neighborhood. So it's like
to sell it off to whoever.
Right. This is our final product. So we wanted to be intimately involved. And not everybody wants to be part of the process of being recorded and being put on YouTube. So like that also weeds out a lot of people that they're like, whoa, no, because, if you don't do good work, then they're like, well, yeah, I don't want to be on YouTube to put myself out there. So.
And that's something that we've been very open about when it comes to our contractors. We told them, hey, we're documenting this entire thing. We're filming the entire process from start to finish. So that's something that they had to be okay with. And so, yeah, that, became a long journey of trying to find the right contractors to do the job. And, we feel comfortable with them, not only with their personalities, their job, their job description, because for example, right now, the gentleman who's doing our slab for our house, he does commercial work. He doesn't do, residential. But we knew he was the guy who was right for the job because of the type of commercial work he does. So we were like, okay, he might be a little bit more expensive. He might be a little bit, this or that. But we know that in order for him to have his business continue, he's got to do this stuff right. And so we know, we looked into it and we're like, okay, we're cool. And the guy has been really great to work with, honestly. He's been awesome, and he doesn't mind us going out there and filming and asking questions and walking it with him, and him getting down and explaining exactly what he's doing. Because not only we know that he wants to do a good job and we want to feel good about it, and vice versa, we want to be able to say, hey, yeah, this guy did a great job for us here too. So it's just been a lot of firsts for us.
Right. And then I guess we'll break down the during this journey, we'll break down everything that it's involved. So hopefully we look forward to everybody being part of this process, because I mean, we're going to do from the start to finish. So, this will always be ongoing. So obviously once the house is finished, or finished, I mean, like enclosed, dried in, we still have projects, the inside, finishing out, the rest of the stuff that everybody else loves. But I hope everybody stays for the actual journey, because that's going to be, not everybody gets to see what construction is. It's can be, a different side of things, because people love the HGTV. We broke ground. 10 minutes later, here's our house. But it's like, well, no, it takes a little bit more than that.
Right. And we're estimating it's going to take at least a year for us to get to the pretty stuff. Again, just because it's just us managing this. And we have a great line of people, set up already to do everything that needs to get done. But one of the things that we have noticed is that weather is serious up here.
Yeah. That's our other delay.
That's been one of our delays. As a matter of fact, the slab and all this stuff we wanted to have done by now, but we couldn't because, first of all, we had snowpocalypse happen, in the beginning of the year, and
Which was awesome.
I know it was. It was. You guys have seen a little bit of footage of that, and it was just absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. We had so much fun being snowed in for like a week and a half. But this is a rainy season right now, and rain. It might say 15% chance of rain, and it's raining all day, super hard, crazy. And we also bought pasture land. And if you don't know anything about pasture land, it's very rich soil. It's great soil for growing stuff. And this was farmland at one point, and then for many years it actually had cattle on it. So it's very well fertilized. But with that, it gets very soft when it rains.
Right. It's not very dense. It doesn't compact very good.
Not at all.
When you dig up the ground, I mean, it smells like manure.
It's ripe.
It's it's got a very distinct smell, and it's like, whoa.
Right. And so not only that, it's very soft soil, and we're on top of a mountain. So we have very soft soil on top of rock.
Bedrock.
Right. And so that has posed its challenges as well, some of which we already ran into when we, did the septic tank for our camper and this cottage now that we have on our property. So we have been coming across new things that we've had to kind of deal with and work around and understand how it would affect our big build in the long run. And it wouldn't have happened had we not started. So even when we broke ground for our farmhouse, our gentleman who we contracted to do the foundation, even he had to come to us, and we were grateful that he did. And he was like, hey, because of the type of soil, because you're on bedrock, we need to do things a little bit different than we had originally started. And that's the kind of contractor that we want, is one that comes up to us and say, hey, this is what's going on. We're going to have to pivot here or there, and this is why. And so, we only assume that, things like this are just going to continue happening because, again, we're doing this for our very first, time ever. So that's been our biggest delay, to be quite honest.
Right. No, but I think we're going. And I think if they want to hear, we'll list off the stuff that, like, for a house build, the stuff, the major components of it, which is, first is breaking ground. What is breaking ground? If you're on raw land, it's getting a driveway in for the trucks to actually be able to go in and do the work. Then you have your foundation, whatever that composes of. Then you have like sanitation, which is either you're connecting to a existing sewer system if you live in a city. If you're a rural area, then you have to have a septic tank. And then you have your freshwater intake. Are you connecting to freshwater, or are you drilling to get well water? And then once you have the foundation, then you have your framing,
Plumbing. You forgot, yeah, the plumbing, the internal plumbing, because
Well,
that,
right.
yeah, there's just so many things, so many things. So we'll list them all, and I mean, it's just one thing after another, and then sometimes we're like, oh crap, we can't do this. We got to do this first.
Right. So plumbing or framing, or I mean, plumbing, framing, then the outside, the exterior,
the sheathing.
Then there's the windows. Once the windows are in, roof line, then it's considered dried in when you actually can close doors, and then there's no weather getting into the house. Then you have the build out, which is actually running the rest of the plumbing through the home. Then your HVAC, your heating and cooling, then your electrical, and then you have your insulation. And then after insulation, there's obviously a bunch of
drywall, the
different
finishes,
stuff,
the
right?
trim, the doors, the cabinets, the tile, the flooring, all that stuff.
Bathrooms, bedrooms, and then down to the closets at the very end, or whatever you want to consider and the trim out. The trim baseboards and trimming around the windows and paint.
Oh, baby. All right. So real quick on the house, we will have a video where I'll share the plans and the layout and the things that I would love to do with it. But that was another thing that we had to learn how to do. We actually had our plans. We bought them online. There was a particular plan that we fell in love with. It kind of checked all of our, lines, all our things that we needed. We even had a couple of modifications done with an architect for our plan because of we wanted to make sure that every single part of this house was used. One of the major changes from our previous homes to this one is that we are no longer going to be on a basement. We're going to be on a slab. And we kind of made that decision before we even moved here, but we were glad we did because when we found out we had bedrock, we weren't going to be able to do a basement anyways. We decided that we were going to put our house on the highest point mid-center of our property line. And we just think it's just a perfect location where it's going to be. And one of the requirements I had was to have a big old front porch just so that I can sit out there in front and look at the beautiful, scenery that we have up here on the mountain. So that was very important for us. We made sure that every single room had a particular usage. We made sure that we had things like a mud room because up here we learned we are bringing in mud no matter what. And so there was just certain things that, we had to make sure that our plan had in order for it to function in this area and in the lifestyle that we're going to have, up here on a farm, essentially, because we already have chickens and we plan on adding even more livestock down the road. So, the process of going out and determining, are we going to do this type of siding? What kind of roofing we're going to do? What kind of windows we're going to do? We had to go and do all that stuff. And that was a learning process because, you can want all the nicest things all you want, but when you start seeing those numbers add up, you're like, okay, maybe we don't need this. And that was another thing that we had to learn too. It's like, okay, do I need this type of window? No. This one works just fine.
Yeah. Everybody wants a 4-sided brick home.
Right.
Until you figure out what the labor is to do that. And it's like, wow.
Yep, not going to happen. And so that was another thing that, kind of was not necessarily a delay, but it was one of the things that we had to go through so that we can be a little bit more, just well-versed on what we plan on doing because we're going to be faced with so many things, whether it's the color of the house. Do we want shutters? Do we not want shutters? Do we want brick accents? Do we want stone accents? Do we want, wood here, metal roof there? Just so many things. And we cannot wait to share more about this with you all. We're excited. We broke ground. We have our footers in the footers, right? That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. In the ground. The cement trucks were out here yesterday and we were just so excited. Of course, today we had a terrible thunderstorm that lasted like half the day. So nothing got done today. So there's just days where a lot gets done because Monday and Tuesday of this week, it was busy. There was tons of truck bringing in gravel. There was cement trucks coming in and out of our property. And then today there's just crickets. So we want to make sure that whenever we come to you guys with a video, with an update, we have some really exciting things for you guys to see, some great updates for you guys to hear about. And we just want to bring you guys visuals. We're going to be sharing exactly where the house is going to be at, on the property, how it's going to, fit in with the rest of the stuff that we have, and even future plans, because we've got a garden, coming up. We've got lots of other, fun things that we want to share with you guys.
Playhouse.
Oh yeah, that too. We have plans for like a playhouse for the kids, just so that, it can give them a little bit of something extra to do during the time that mommy and dad are going to be out there, working and directing and making sure that, things are, running smoothly on the construction site. So, we just want to say thank you all for being with us and hanging in there and being patient. But the wait is now over. We finally started, and we're going to be sharing a lot more of stuff going on here and the progress and just absolutely everything that we learn along the way, because this has been a huge year of learning and trying to navigate, 4 kids now, and work and being in a new state and making new friends and just learning how things here are just a little bit different, a little bit slower than, what we're used to.
Which we love.
Yes. Yes, we have. We really do. And so, yeah, we just...
In sports, we live on one mountain. The kids go to the other mountain to play sports. But the bad thing is they're in a different time zone than us. So that kind of gets challenging. So we got a lot of stuff going on.
We are like literally right next to the Eastern Standard Time and Central Time, like border. And sometimes when we go somewhere, we have to make sure we mind our times because it changes. So yeah, that's been another thing to be adjusting. So being so close to that line. We're excited though, because daylight savings time is coming up very soon. So we're going to get an extra hour of daylight. It gets dark up here on the mountain very early when it comes to switching in the fall. So we're looking forward to getting that extra sunlight so we can stay outdoors longer and work longer. But yeah, we have a lot of things going on. Again, we appreciate y'all's patience. We can't wait to share more with you guys. But the best news this year, 2024, is that we are actually finally building our house. So, babe, you got anything else to add?
Let's drop some B-roll and show them the property.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. I wanna drive a faster car. Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette.
Okay, guys, I am coming at you here completely disheveled. I'm cooking dinner. It's been such a long and stressful day. It's super dark outside. But right now, the first piece of equipment to break ground on our house is here. And I am full of so many emotions right now. It's an exciting day. Because it feels like we've been waiting for this forever.
Not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at the beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. I wanna drive a faster car. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me.
All right, so that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you're most excited about in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Until then,
Go dogs.
adios.